Do you have a hard time sitting on the ground with your legs crossed? Maybe you get pulling down the side of your hip here, so on the outside of your hip, your glute area, or maybe it's running down your leg and it's coming in towards your knee. Either way, if you're finding it difficult to sit in this position here, then chances are you've got a restriction in hip external rotation. So I'm going to show you a few exercises to help you get comfortable in this position. Just want to note that this isn't a follow along that you do one time and you see results. This is something that you can do consistently for a period of time, and you'll start to see improvements in this area until eventually you can sit and it feels quite comfortable. When I began this like 3 years ago, I couldn't sit in this position. This was just far too uncomfortable for me. Okay, so we're going to start by doing a dynamic stretch to open the hips up, get some blood flow, and generally just loosen you up a little bit before we do the other exercises. So for this, we're going to go into the 90-90 position. So we've got a 90-degree angle on our front leg here. We've got a 90-degree angle on this back leg. From here, we're going to keep our hips squared off, facing forward, okay? With your back nice and straight. You want to imagine that you're bringing your belly button and pointing it towards the middle of your shin. This is kind of the angle that you want. You may find if you're tight, you're leaning over here. That's okay, you can lean to the side a little bit, but just try and stay nice and upright if you can maintain that. From here, we're just gonna lean into this as far as we can with a nice straight back. Then we're gonna transition over to the other side. So I'm lifting this knee, I'm keeping distance between these two knees, transitioning over to the other side, full rotation to the other side, and lean into this side now. Come back out of that, lift this knee up, keep distance between these two knees, as much distance the whole way round, and lean into this. We're gonna go for 12 reps. So hopefully you were able to do that exercise nice and comfortably. Now, if you find this position difficult, what we can do is just to make this a little bit easier, put a little bit less of a stretch on this front leg. We're just going to use a yoga block, and you can actually sit on this, and instantly you can see here now that I need less external rotation on this front leg. So if you find it difficult to stay upright and you're getting a really intense stretch, then try it with the yoga block, the next exercise. Okay. So from this position here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna square ourselves off, so hips facing forward, okay? Think about bringing our belly button close to our thigh, keeping the back nice and straight. We're gonna move towards our shin as much as we can, but we're actually engaging these muscles on the inside of our leg, pulling ourselves deep into this stretch until I get to my end range, okay? So that's full stretch here, and then I'm gonna push my feet or my leg into the ground and bring myself back up. Okay, and I'm gonna do 12 reps on each side. Okay, we're now going to go into a passive stretch. So we're going to go to our end range. So we're just keeping our back nice and straight. We're leaning into this, okay? But this time we're just going to hold it in this stretch position. So you're looking for that stretch in your hips here and outside of your leg. Once you're in position, you can't go any further. I just want you to hold this position for 2 minutes. So you're going to go ahead and pause the video, hold it for 2 minutes, and then press play. Okay, from here, after your 2 minutes is up, we're going to do some isometric contractions in this position to start strengthening the muscles responsible for hip external rotation. We're in this stretch. We're going to start with a contraction where we're pushing ourselves down in towards the ground. So you're taking this whole leg, the whole front of this shin here, okay, and you're driving that down in towards the ground. I want you to go for 100% contraction as hard as you can, pushing down into the ground for 10 seconds. So I'm just going to count you through this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next up, we're now taking this leg and it's as if we're pulling the shin towards our body, but it's not actually going to lift up off of the ground. We're just engaging all these muscles here. We're just going to end up pulling ourselves deeper into the stretch rather than this lifting off, okay? So it's a 10-second contraction pulling up from the ground. So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going for another 10 seconds, pushing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds again, pulling up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds pushing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 10 seconds pulling up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to relax into this position now. Pause the video and we're going to hold this for a further 30 seconds. Okay, once you've done that side, we're going to do the exact same on the other side. So we're just going to go into position, find your stretch, pause the video, hold it for 2 minutes. Once the 2 minutes is up, press start again, and now we're going to do our contractions, okay? So 10 seconds pushing down, followed by 10 seconds pulling up, 3 sets. So it should take 60 seconds to complete this. Okay, once the contractions are done, we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Just pause the video and hold this for 30 seconds and then press play again once you're done. Okay, so now we're going to use this range of motion that we've just been working on, and we're going to try and strengthen it a little bit further. Okay, so we're doing a dynamic active stretch here. We're actually going to add some load or add some tension. You don't have to add the load if you don't want, but simply by holding a yoga block here, technically that is still loaded. You can squeeze into this yoga block just to create some more tension in the body. Keeping your body nice and straight, we're going to do the exercise that we've done at the beginning, okay, where we're leaning into that as far as we can, pulling ourselves into it, This time our hands are off the floor, so it's a loaded exercise, okay? Go down into that stretch and then drive yourself back up into that start position. So we're gonna go for 12 reps. Now feel free to grab a kettlebell or a dumbbell and add a little bit of weight, but I just advise that you start light. Don't go too heavy, just work your way up, okay? So you're gonna go for 12 reps. Once you've done 12 reps, we're going to switch over, we're going to do the other side. Remember, if you have a hard time doing this, as I mentioned at the beginning, prop a weight or something under here just to prop yourself up. Requires less hip external rotation, and do the exact same exercise. So I'm going to do it this way to demonstrate for the other side. And that is the end of my follow along mobility routine for hip external rotation. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe to our channel. And if you want to learn more about the hips, then please check out our hip mobility program. I'll add the link in the description below.